Long before kingdoms were marked on maps, and before scholars recorded the names of kings, there lived a knight known across the northern realms as Sir Alard of Greymarch. Songs praised his courage, and children carved wooden swords pretending to be him. He rode into wars others feared, stood where arrows fell like rain, and faced enemies twice his size without hesitation. Yet what made Sir Alard legendary was not his skill, it was his curse. He could not die. The first time it happened, people called it a miracle. During the Battle of Red Hollow, a spear pierced his chest, and he fell before hundreds of witnesses. His comrades mourned him through the night, but by dawn he rose again, breathing as though waking from sleep. The wound vanished without a scar. Priests declared him chosen by heaven. Kings sought his service. Armies followed wherever he rode. But miracles, when repeated too often, become something else. Years passed, and Sir Alard survived fires, blades, poison, and even the collapse of a castle tower. Each time he returned unchanged, while those beside him faded into graves. Friends aged and died. Squires grew old while he remained the same man. Whispers began to follow him. Some called him blessed, others called him cursed. Sir Alard himself felt only exhaustion. He fought because that was all people expected of him. Kingdom after kingdom used his immortality as a shield against fear. When soldiers saw him ride forward, they believed victory certain. Yet every battlefield left him lonelier than before. One winter evening, after surviving yet another war, Sir Alard wandered into a quiet monastery hidden among snow-covered hills. The monks welcomed travelers without question, offering bread in silence. There he met Brother Tomas, an elderly monk whose eyes seemed older than the stones themselves. "You carry the weight of someone unfinished," Tomas said after watching him for days. Sir Alard laughed bitterly. "I carry the weight of never finishing at all." The monk studied him carefully. "Tell me, knight, do you dream?" Sir Alard hesitated. "Only one dream. A dark figure stands beside me on every battlefield. It waits, but never comes closer." Brother Tomas nodded slowly. "Then death has lost you." The words chilled him more than winter winds. The monk led him deep beneath the monastery into a chamber filled with ancient manuscripts. At its center lay a massive book bound in iron clasps. "The Book of Ending Names," Tomas whispered. "It records every life that must one day end. Without a name written here, death cannot find its path." Sir Alard stared at the pages filled with countless names written in fading ink. "My name is not there?" "It was," said Tomas softly, "long ago, but something erased it." The knight felt anger rise within him. Who would steal a man's death? "Perhaps," the monk replied, "someone who feared losing you. Or perhaps you surrendered it without knowing." The idea haunted him. If his name was missing, then somewhere it still existed, waiting to be restored. Brother Tomas told him of a forgotten place known as the Vale of Echoes, where lost things gathered, broken promises, forgotten memories, and names abandoned by fate itself. "If you seek rest," the monk said, "you must go there." Sir Alard left before dawn, carrying only his sword and a quiet hope he barely understood. The journey took months. He crossed battlefields where rusted armor lay half buried in grass, and passed villages that no longer remembered the wars he fought. The world moved forward while he remained unchanged. At last he reached the Vale of Echoes, a land wrapped in gray mist where sound returned seconds after it was made. Every footstep seemed followed by another unseen walker. There he encountered figures made of shadow, wandering endlessly. When he looked closely, he realized they were warriors who once sought glory, but were forgotten by history. They drifted without purpose, unable to rest. A voice echoed through the mist. "You seek what was taken." A tall figure emerged, cloaked in darkness yet gentle in presence. Though Sir Alard could not see its face, he knew who stood before him. Death. "I have waited long," the figure said, "but I could never claim you." "Why?" Sir Alard demanded. Why was I denied the end given to every living soul? Death raised a hand, and the mist formed images from the past. Sir Alard saw himself years earlier, kneeling beside a dying king who begged for victory in a hopeless war. Desperate to save his people, Alard had sworn an oath. He would fight forever if only the kingdom survived. The oath had power older than crowns. You traded your ending for endless battle, Death said gently. Your name left the book the moment you chose to live only as a weapon. Sir Alard fell silent. He remembered the desperation, the promise made without understanding its cost. Can it be undone? He asked quietly. Yes, Death replied, but not by victory, only by surrender. The knight understood then. All his life he had chased purpose through war, believing survival was strength. Yet true courage was accepting the end every person must face. He removed his sword and placed it on the ground. I am tired, he said, not of life, but of living without meaning. I choose to be mortal. The mist trembled and warmth spread through the veil. A glowing name appeared before him, written in light. Sir Alard of Greymarch. Death opened an unseen book, and the name returned to its rightful place. For the first time in decades, Sir Alard felt his heartbeat slow, steady, and fragile. The air felt sharper, more precious. He returned to the world not as an immortal legend, but as a man. He never fought another war. Instead, he traveled quietly, helping rebuild villages destroyed by battles he once fought. People rarely recognized him, and he never corrected them. Years later, in a small village far from any kingdom, Sir Alard grew old. Children listened to his stories by firelight, unaware they spoke with a knight of legend. When death finally came again, it did not wait at a distance. It sat beside him like an old friend. Sir Alard smiled, unafraid, knowing that a life with an ending was far more precious than endless survival. And so the knight who could not die finally learned the greatest victory was not conquering death, but accepting it. Tales by Sora.